Hey everyone, welcome to another video. This video is gonna be my Shop My Stash update. I'm gonna be reflecting on my Shop My Stash of last month and I'm gonna be picking out some new things. So let's get right into it. So I'm gonna be keeping up this Shop My Stash format for this year. I wanna do a monthly Shop My Stash. The rule is that I put in 2 products per category that I find relevant. And I only put in things that I haven't used in a while, feel like I have to use more. And I don't have to just focus on the products in my Shop My Stash. I can use my whole collection. I just want to use these a couple of times. So let's get into the products of this past rotation. First up, I put in 2 lip products. I put in the Oden's Eye Cream Lip Stain in a Water Lily. This is a very beautiful kind of terracotta nude. It's a little bit deeper than the other one that I have in Little Jasmine. I've really enjoyed wearing this. I think I wore it once. It's a very beautiful color. It is quite wearable even though it's a little bit on the darker side. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think this one is great and I want to try and wear this a little bit more. Then I put in the Kiko Charming Escape Luxurious Shiny Lipstick in shade 01. This is such a beautiful lipstick. I wore it once and I'm wearing it today. So I actually wore it twice. I really think this is such a beautiful shade. When I look at it in a tube, I always think it looks very peachy. But then when I wear it, I feel like it looks very nice and quite nude and neutral. So I was kind of expecting this to be more peachy. In my mind, in my memory, it was more peachy, but it is quite nude and very wearable and it looks good with a lot of looks. So I really enjoyed wearing this one this month. Then I put in 2 blushes. First up, I put in the Max Factor Nude Mauve blush. This is a baked blush. I put this in because I wasn't sure if this was really my thing because it's quite light. It's like very light beigey pink and I like a little bit more of a pinky, a little bit more of a deeper blush on me. And when I first tried this, I think about a year ago, I wasn't blown away by it. I wasn't a fan of it. I didn't want to declutter it, but I also didn't really feel like using it. So I wanted to try it again to really make up my mind. It is not a bad blush. It's just very different from what I usually wear. It's just very kind of brown, like light brown, and I feel like it can kind of work with certain looks and I can kind of make it work when I'm not as tan. So I feel like this does have some sort of place in my collection, but it is so light. I think this would look very good on people that have a very fair skin tone and that are very cool toned in undertone. I'm more neutral. I feel like if this were a little bit deeper, it would be perfect. I don't think I'm gonna declutter it. I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would when I wore it. So I'm just gonna give it a little bit more of a chance in my collection, but my blush collection has grown a lot this past year, so I don't know if this is gonna stay in my collection for very long. Then I put in the Honest Cream blush. I think this is a great blush. It is so beautiful. It's such a beautiful shade. It looks so good on the skin. I wore it a couple of times and I actually decided to put this in my project pan because of this Shop My Stash. I thought, you know what? I think it would be a good idea to try and pan a cream blush sometime. And then this one is very wearable, very easy to combine with different looks. And it also just looks so good on the skin. So really enjoyed this one so much that I'm planning to use it a lot more. Then I put in 2 highlighters that I'm kind of figuring out if I want to keep them in my collection or not. First up, I put in the Kaleidos Mars Melter highlighter. I have mentioned this as one of the worst products of 2021. Doesn't mean that I think that this is overall for everyone a bad product. I think if you really like shimmery highlighters, then this can be something for you, but it is very chunky. It is very visible shimmer. It is a lot on the cheeks. It's like a disco ball effect on the cheeks and you really have to like that, and I don't really love that. So I'm not saying don't buy this. I'm not saying it is objectively terrible. I'm just saying that if you don't like shimmery highlighters, then stay away from this probably. I could kind of make it work when I wore it. I actually put on a little bit of the Privilege highlighter from Nabla first. This one is in my project pan. And then I put a little bit of this on top. And I feel like that kind of made this look more smooth and more wearable and less like shimmer particles, like loose shimmer particles on your face. So that combination kind of made me think like, maybe I should give it another chance because with this type of highlight, when you're wearing this on camera, when you have this on in a photo, if you have this on like low light, it does look very pretty. It's just not very wearable. It's not very natural. It is just a lot. So it wasn't as bad when I put something else underneath that's very smooth and shiny, but I'm not sure about this one. I think in the end I'm probably gonna have to let it go because it's just a lot for me, but I can see myself using this a couple times more before actually doing that, before actually decluttering it. Then I put in this Charming Escape Silky Highlighter, also by Kiko. I think this is a very pretty shade, and there is something very pretty about this highlighter. Also, the packaging is just gorgeous, but I just feel like it is quite hard to pick up. It's kind of like when I try to pick this up on a brush, not a lot comes off, and I really have to go in to get the amount that I want. It is just a very subtle highlighter. It is very smooth and subtle, and it's not very blinding, and I do love to be able to see my highlighter. I don't want it to be like, are you wearing highlighter or not? I want to be able to see it, and I think maybe this is just a little bit too subtle for me to really fall in love with it, to really be into this. It is not bad, but I just wished it was a little bit more on the skin, a little bit more visible. I just wish I didn't have to go in so many times to get the result that I want. So if you like a really subtle highlighter, then this is definitely a pretty one, but I don't think I will ever reach for this one over my other Kiko highlighters that I love so much. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do with this. I don't know if I'm gonna be keeping this. I have to think about it a little bit. Then I put in the NARS Laguna bronzer. This is such a pretty bronzer, but it's very subtle actually. I think it is quite subtle, but it is very blendable. It has a beautiful sheen to it that is just a very smooth. This looks great on the cheeks. I think it is a very pretty bronzer. It's not my absolute favorite because it's so subtle. I do like to get a little bit more from my bronzer, but maybe that's also something that's kind of in my head, because every time that I wear it, I actually really love the look that I end up with. So it's just a little bit different from other things that I have in my collection, but I still like it. But I guess I just kind of have to get used to how sort of subtle this is. I feel like maybe I should have used this like once or twice more to really get to know it even more. With most of these products, it's like I have reviewed it, but then I haven't really used it for a while, and I just want to be reacquainted with them. And I feel like I could fall in love with this one. I feel like I could use it even more and love it even more, and I haven't truly given it a chance yet. And I feel like I should. Then I put in 2 eyeshadow palettes. I put in the Kiko Mood Boost eyeshadow palette in Dive in Colors. This is one of my favorites. This is one of my favorites of 2021. I really love the look that I did with it. I really love the colors in here. The shimmers in here are just very pretty. I think it's a great palette. I love wearing it again. And then I also put in the Norvina palette, the OG Norvina palette. And I did a few looks with this and was actually very impressed. I really liked it. And these were easier to work with than I remember. I think that could be because my makeup style, makeup techniques have changed a lot. I have used a lot of different eyeshadow formulas. I've used a lot of eyeshadow formulas that are quite pigmented and you have to blend it in a certain way. And I feel like the techniques that I have now work better for these eyeshadows. I also think these shimmers are very beautiful. And I was so impressed by this palette, this rotation, that I decided to put this in my project pan. I am not trying to pan one specific shade, but I'm gonna see if I can just get some progress on this palette overall when I do multiple different looks with it. And I think I can go a little bit more neutral with it. I can also go a little bit more colorful. So I just want to see how it's gonna go if I put this in my project pan. But if you want to know more about that, watch the project pan video, then you have all the information on that. So I actually think that this is a pretty interesting rotation, because some of these I wasn't really sure about how I felt, and I feel like I have more of an idea now. And with some of these I know that I have to try them even more, or I know that I want to use them even more. So that's also kind of the goal of this. I really want to get to know my collection even better. Now we've talked about all the products of the last rotation. Let's get into picking out my new Shop My Stash basket. Okay, so let's start with picking out some lip products. I haven't really thought about what I want to put in. Usually I do, but now I'm not sure what I want to do. I think I want to put in this one again. This is a vegan collagen matte lipstick in 010 by Crease, and I didn't really love this, and I want to know if I want to keep this in my collection or maybe declutter it. So I'm going to be trying this one. It's a very light new shade. I just changed the settings on the camera because it's really dark. I made it a little bit lighter, but this is a very light nude shade. It's pretty true to color now on camera, and it just looked a little bit too drying on my lips, so I want to try this out and see if I want to keep it. Then I want to put in a Colourpop Ultra Satin Lip, and this is such a good formula. I'm so sad that they discontinued this. I just want to see if this is still like good, if I still want to wear it, if I still like it. So that's why I'm going to be putting this one in. I do love the color and I love the formula, but it's getting a little bit old, so I just want to see if I still want this in my life. Then let's move on to the highlighters. Let me see what I want to do. I think I'm gonna put in the Flower Pyramids highlighter. What is this called? The Pyramids Cheek Color in Rose Glow. I think this is so beautiful, but I haven't used it in a while, so I'm going to be putting this one in. And I think I'm also going to be putting this one in. This is the Kiko highlighter from the Precious Rituals collection in Golden Meditation. And this is very pretty. I love the packaging, but I haven't used it in a bit. Let me just show you what it looks like. It's a pretty like basic champagne highlight with a little bit of peach in there. Then for the blushes, I also want to put in a blush from Flower. This is the blush, the Flower Pot powder blush in Warm Hibiscus. I actually forgot to review this. I had used this enough times, but in the month that I ranked all the Flower products, I forgot to review this. So I just want to put it in my Shop My Stash and still say something about it and still put it in a video like this. But I quite like this. I haven't used it in a bit though. And then I want to put in an Alpha Fruit Blusher by Honest Eye. This is the shade a Ripe Papaya. This is what this one looks like. I really like the shade. It's so fun and bright, and I just want to use this one again. It's a bit difficult to really show you all my eyeshadow palettes. I really try, but a lot of them are kind of back there and you can't really see them. I have to work on that. But what I want to put in first up is the Kaleidos and Angelica Nyqvist Club Nebula palette. I want to use this one again. I think this one is so fun, and it was the best eyeshadow palette of 2021 in my eyes, in my ranking. So that's why I want to put this one in. And then let's see. Oh, I know what I want to do. I want to put in the Glamlight Red Velvet Cupcake palette. I haven't used this one in a bit, and I do think it's very cute. You can do some kind of neutralish looks with this. So I really want to use this shade called Cake Mix again. This one is so good. So yeah, I'm gonna be putting that one in. And then let's choose a bronzer. I don't always think this is the most interesting category. I don't have that many. I feel like I rotate through them quite a bit. I think I'm gonna put in the Heatwave bronzer by Flower. This is a very nice bronzer. I really like it. It's just a little bit warm toned. And then I think I'm gonna put in this one again, the Kiko Fruit Explosion bronzer in a Wild Sienna. This is not my favorite, and I'm kind of thinking of decluttering this one maybe. It's not bad, but it's just not good. It's not like so good that I need it in my life. So I'm thinking maybe I will declutter it, but I have to try it a little bit more and then after that really decide. And then this is gonna be my makeup basket for the coming month. I also have my Project Pan items in here, so that's why it's pretty full right now. We have two big eyeshadow palettes here and some bigger cheek products here. But this is what I'm gonna be focusing on for the coming month. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe, and then I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.